we know that the Most High God is not a God of confusion. And I just have some questions, because sometimes I even question the sanity that I have been able to maintain in dealing with this reality. Every day you have questions about some of the things that you see, some of the things that you hear, just some of the things that you experience. It just makes you kind of wonder. And I'm not gonna lie, even though a lot of us have a high level of discernment, intuition, and things of that nature, I've grown tired. It's like, I know about the impending danger, so to speak, but I still dive right into it. It's like I'm to the point to where I've stopped caring. Even though I know what I know, and they know that I know what I know. But yeah, I'm not sure what else there is to learn here. There's a lot of secret, double-sided, double-meaning talk. People communicating with me non-verbally. Not hearing voices in my head, nothing like that, but just by mere gestures, appearances, by way of signs and symbols and plants set all over the place. It's like I'm seeing things that in my environment that's speaking to me. Just earlier, I was parked at the back of this hotel. It was a Comfort Inn, a lodging establishment for, people that want to, book a room for the night or what have you. And throughout my targeting, especially during the times that I've lived out my vehicle, I've always wanted to park remotely away from people, whether it be church parking lots, other remote locations off in the woods, at a park somewhere, just wherever. But as I was sitting back there was all these noises that was going on. So we all know about the car alarm being set off, or the horn honking that they'll do. That's the normal part that's one of the tools they use for the noise campaigns, right? But sometimes it's different. Sometimes it's like you're being alerted to a possible danger of sorts. And those of us that have been going through this targeting, we know that we have hits out on us in general, because, we're targeted because a lot of us are unique in some sort of way. We're different. And anything that is different in this world that is not a part of the herd, it's going to get watched and monitored. But it was a bit different. It was like I was hearing the car alarms go off, which I've heard before, no big deal. But then sometimes it's like, what if it is the Most High trying to alert you to something, to some danger around the corner? What ultimately did it for me in evacuating that area that I was in was there was this bird. It was a blue jay bird. It landed on a tree that was right next to my vehicle, right on the driver's side. And that bird started looking at me, and it just started talking. I'm not crazy. It wasn't English. It was, doing its little bird chirping, talking. Like it was chirping his heart out, or her heart out. The bird was just chirp, 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 chirp. Like it was really trying to and I picked up on the communication, and it was basically telling me, to please, please clear that area. That's what it was telling me, and I ultimately I did it. I'm having a hard time. I'm saying all this to say sometimes I have a hard time with discerning what's the what is the targeting? If it's the targeting program, meaning is it the MK Ultra and they're trying to play the mind game, or is it actually the Most High that's trying to alert me to something to try to help me and save me? I'm having a really hard time with that, because a lot of what I'm experiencing and seeing is indicative of a mind control program. You know, let's do XYZ and see what kind of response he gets. Let's see how he reacts to this. It's as clear as day. A lot of us are intelligent enough to know, to pick up on the fact that we're being experimented on. A lot of us, aside from all the spiritual stuff, even that within of itself could potentially also be a psyop as well. But it's just so weird. These so-called helpers that you see around sometimes that will even show up on your behalf, which I've witnessed. It just makes you wonder, are those really helpers? Like true, authentic, genuine helpers? Because you have the Masonic paradigm of black and white, red and blue. What do they call it? Duality. You have the good and the evil. The good cop, the bad cop. You know, the good kid, the bad kid, you know. And it's almost as if like that's what's being played out. You have people that are playing good, people that are playing bad. And the good step in just when the bad's about to devour you or cause a problem for you, right? But how does the good always know when the bad is about to do that if they're not all in cahoots with each other? Hey, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to discount like the people that actually do help and want to see you succeed. I'm not trying to discount that at all, but I'm just thinking and I just have questions. You know, how is it that they seem to know right when the evil's about to do something and they try to alert you if they don't have a hold of the script? Because I truly believe that each of us that are going through this program, we have a fucking script. Let me make sure this thing's still recording. Okay, good. With some agendas on it, with some plans, you know. This is to happen to him or her at this specific place, at this specific time. It's very ritualistic. All of us that have been going through this program, seriously going through the persecutions, you know that this time of year during their pagan holidays, these people make it a point to try to get us locked up in jail or just flat out killed or have some major calamity fall upon our heads every fucking year. This year's been the worst. They've really been trying to get my ass. But the uncanny ability that I've had to be able to duck, dodge, evade, maneuver, get around some shit, you know, it's an uncanny ability to be able to detect that shit and move around it. And I'm not cocky. I'm not saying it to say that, you know, they won't get me one day or whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it to say that, oh, I evade each and every time. You know, there are times to where I might not see something, but then I always notice a helper. I always notice like someone or something happens to where it'll turn out in my favor, and then they'll deem it as like, oh, he was lucky. Oh, you were lucky, you know? Gosh, I just don't know. I just have questions, you know? And I reach out to fellow brothers and sisters that are going through this for some advice or some level of knowledge, I guess, that I may not have in regards to all this. Clearly, I'm doing great. I'm still here. I'm still present. My mind is not gone. I'm still coherent. So I got to be doing something right to have survived this, even though I'm not living in a lap of luxury. I'm not living in a house or a home, or occasionally I might have a place to go to shower up and wash some clothes. Thank God for that, you know, and I'm grateful for that. But it has been a great deal of suffering, and now I've been put in a position to where I have opportunities for work. I no longer do the RV job. That was kind of a scam. You know, trying to get you to work for free, and then on top of that, they don't cover nothing. They don't cover any lodging expenses. And I praised this job because I was just having so much fun with the journeys and the travels, and I was kind of obscuring the fact that, man, I'm not really making good money. Initially, when I first got that first payment, I was like, whoa, but then it was like, well, man, this didn't cover any expenses. at least cover some gas. You know, I thought at least we'd get a discount with the rental cars, but discount codes didn't work. And then the final discount code I got that was supposed to have worked, it ended up doubling the cost of the rental car. So I'm like, okay, I can't do this shit no more. I need money now. These people have financially devastated me. They've been financially devastating me for years. I've always lived paycheck to paycheck, not being able to save up as much as I'd like to, because people like me are not allowed to have. We're not allowed to be rich or have a good stack of money saved up for a rainy day. You know, it's not allowed. And I get it. I understand why, because I'm not one of them. You know, if you're one of them, the world would look out for you, you know. You'd be able to have those resources to have access to and stuff like that. But I don't know. Like I said, I just have questions. I had opportunity for some other jobs. I actually got those jobs, one of which I haven't started yet because I'm waiting on an orientation date or whatever, and that job pays decent money. It pays decent money. And this other job that I'm working, I don't know. I'm being made to feel guilty about making money. You know, it's like I got punished the other day because the job that I currently got, which is a part-time job, by the way, the owner was very kind enough to include some extra money with the reimbursement check I got for some items that I needed for the job. I'm not going to mention company names or the names of the people. You kind of have to be careful with that type of stuff if you want to be able to make money in this world. Calling out these companies and mentioning people's names. I have learned that throughout my experiences, but nevertheless, I'm still going to speak the truth. But anyways, my boss was very kind to include some additional money along with the reimbursement check, but it also had a Christmas card in it. And I made it clear to people that get to know me know that I don't celebrate any of these holidays. I don't even do the Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays chant or whatever, you know. I'm just not into that, because if you go look into the history of what these holidays was rooted in and what they did to the so-called saints back in those days, and those of us that are going through this we are those saints, those same ones that were being persecuted. It's no different. It's the same story. If you go back and look at what they went through, it's the same shit that I go through. You know, so I don't care to celebrate holidays where they took pride in going out and hunting us, and the Roman Catholic Church making it lawful to go out and destroy our property. Go look it up. I did a video about this like some years back when I was in Florida, actually. I think it was like 2021, 2022, talking about what these people did to people like us back then. But anyways, nevertheless, he included some money in the card, and it was $100, and I was like, I really needed that money, you know. And the acceptance of it had nothing to do with me accepting Christmas. I just looked at it like, you know, this person was being nice because he knew that I was living out my car, I was homeless, and you know, it was on his heart to help me out. So that's what I looked at it like. But anyways, so I was contemplating on whether I wanted to use the money or give it to a homeless person. And these people at this job have given me stuff, food stuff and stuff like that, and I've given it to the homeless. I didn't eat any of it because it's, you know, it's Christmassy stuff, so I didn't want to have any of it. You get what I'm saying? But the money, I really needed it, so I used it. You know, I used it that day. Actually got something to eat and immediately got attacked spiritually, and just had this level of hostility towards me after I used the money. So it's like I'm being made to feel guilty about, I mean, this is a job that I'm working at. It wasn't like, I don't know, I guess I should just chill out and not worry about shit like that. But it's like I want to be so much in compliance with what the Most High wants that I'm always concerned about every little thing that I'm doing, because I don't want to come off as being part of these people. I'm not one of them at all. I rebel and rebuke and battle with these people every single day, spiritually, mentally. You know, I don't go out on the offense. As I've said before, I'm in defense mode, but I will always defend myself. And there's always some level of reprimand for that, some level of consequence for trying to defend yourself. Like, how dare you defend yourself? Or or even speak your mind or speak out against them or put them in their place. He should go to jail or prison, or let's get him in a mental facility. Oh, better yet, let's orchestrate a car accident, you know, or let's have people act like they're walking out into the road so they can make it look like I was trying to hit them. You know, that's what these degenerates are doing as of lately. You know, they'll have people walking on the sidewalks and I'm driving in the right lane, you know, and they're acting like they want to hop out into the road. And because I may not swerve, I'm like, these people are being stupid. You know when these people are doing their shenanigans. You know when they have been sent out there to do the shit that they're doing. But what they will do is they will craft that moment and try to use it against you to give reason for them to attack you. These people have been blasting me with directed energy weapons. Even in the place that I go to from time to time, whenever I'm allowed to, you know, wash clothes and just maybe have a place to spend the night here and there, I get blasted in there too. Got blasted at a fucking hospital. It's like they're literally trying to make my brain mush. But I don't know. I'm wondering if I should even work these jobs. And one of these jobs, again, I'm not going to mention any company names, but, you know, a lot of corporations are involved in the harassment. So even with me not mentioning the name, it's like, in this world, the reality is you have to work. You have to make money. You have to be able to survive. You can't do that without having income. So it's like I'm feeling like, should I work for this company? But it's kind of like crucial for me right now because financially I really need money. I really need money. And stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe I should just chill and relax. I just want other people's opinions as to what they think in regards to that. But I don't ever want to have any dealings with these people or them trying to make me feel like I'm a part of them just because I'm working a job in which they are working at. I mean, what am I talking about? It's always been that way. We've always worked amongst the tares. We've always worked amongst the tares. These same people, when you try to work a job and they see you come in with a good attitude, they see that you want to do the best job that you can to appease your employer and maybe potentially move up. And you have these people that have been there for years that, you know, a lot of these people don't even come to work every day. A lot of these people will just randomly take vacations and still come back and be able to keep their job. How do you just get a job and you can almost right away get a vacation? I used to always notice that about a lot of people that I worked with. How are they able to have that nice car? It's not a jealousy thing. It's just a question. I'm like, we're supposed to be making the same money. We're supposed to be in the same socioeconomic status, but how are they able to have the stuff that they have? Just questioning it, you know what I mean? But it didn't make sense to me back then, but it does now. It's because I'm not part of the matrix. I'm not part of the herd. I don't play the game, so to speak. Maybe if you played the game, like that one lawyer told me way back in the day. You don't play the game. You should play the game. You know? Anyways, I don't know. I wanted to share this video as well, going back to what I was talking about earlier with questioning reality and trying to discern the real from the fake. I'm going to play this video and then I'll come back and do commentary. Make sure this thing is still recording. 1 second. Alright, cool.
Oh, what's going on? Huh? Am I riding it back? How's it going?
My kids were left by themselves, and my dad's trying to catch up. I need to get there as fast as possible. Is that possible?
I can't do that, man. This is
Yes, sir. I appreciate everything you did for me, sir.
no problem.
Okay, so I'm going to stop the video right there because there was some other stuff that I was doing to kind of prepare myself to be protected, if you catch my drifts, but I don't want to put that out on video on YouTube or whatever. But anyway, so the context of this footage, or its origins rather, so I was delivering an RV from Wakarusa, Indiana, headed to I believe Utah. I believe I was headed to Utah. I had a drop off there, and I had stopped in Richland, Missouri, and I pulled over. I took the exit. That was the exit to go to Richland, but I pulled over on the side shoulder, just on the exit ramp off to the side, as you can see here. And I'm sitting in the vehicle. I was kind of like eating snacks. Sorry about the smacking. I was kind of hungry and also tired. And you can see the Indiana license plate right there. You can also see the date. This wasn't something that happened recently, but this was back in November of this year, November 6th. So what I observed before I actually cut my body cam on was this individual was approaching from this direction. As you can see off in the distance, there's a 18-wheeler rig that's parked up ahead. So this individual right here, hopefully I have it set for you to see the cursor, but this individual with the dog appeared to have emerged from this 18-wheeler. I can't confirm that fully, or he may have come from this area over here, and he probably walked down off the road that intersects this feeder. He probably walked down that way and then made a turn to approach me over here. Now, a lot of us that have gone through this program, these people, they have been known to do some of the craziest things. But this right here was really different for me. And the theme, as of lately with my targeting, I would say for the past few months, from the time that I was even in Florida, the latter time that I was there up until now, there's been this non-verbal communicative effort to let me know that there's like a hit out on me. Okay? Getting it from all kinds of people. Of course, people that I don't know when I'm out and about. If I go to a library or a grocery store, or I walk into a hospital to use a restroom or something, I'm just noticing there are people giving me these little hints and clues. Okay? Now, with having this knowledge, and mind you, I've not been directly contacted by anybody in law enforcement with regards to this, but even with them, they have also given me some type of clues or what have you. Now, once again, with this targeting program, a lot of us know that there's a lot of experimentation stuff going on. You have MK Ultra, which I know for a fact these people have been using this MK Ultra stuff on me since I was a child. So for all I know, all this stuff that's going on with regards to some threat on my life, it could potentially just be a psyop to keep me anxious or keep me in this constant state of fear, which is what these creatures like to feed off of. Or maybe there's something legitimate to it. But in this particular case, where this guy is just approaching my vehicle with two dogs, and if anyone noticed when I played the video initially, he kind of has his left hand hidden. It's covered with his shirt. So who's to say that this guy didn't have some automatic weapon hidden within his shirt as he's approaching my vehicle, right? As he gets closer and closer, let me try to get some, one second, let me get the magnifier out on this and see if we can just kind of get a bit more of a close-up. All right, you see how his arm is covered, how he easily could have had some sort of gun or automatic weapon in his left hand, as he has his other hand, you know, holding on to the leashes of, for his dogs. Okay, so my question is, if something like this would have happened to you, give your honest opinion as to what your response would have been. Give your honest opinion, because any regular person under normal circumstances, well, let me not say any regular person, there are some people who would have pulled out a firearm and shot this person. But for some reason, as I'm sitting there and I'm seeing this guy approach, it was almost as if my discernment was like, don't worry about this one. It was weird. Like, why didn't I jump up? Why didn't I try to pull something to protect myself? Why didn't I jump up to try to grab the door and close it while he was opening it? You get what I'm saying? So it's like I have questions. Like, is it a true legitimate threat, or is it all just psychological operations? And I struggle with that, because I've had things happen to me while I'm asleep. These people have the ability to induce sleep at will. I've had it happen to me on several occasions. Even while you're asleep, they can keep you asleep, do some nefarious thing to you while you're asleep, and then you wake up feeling weird, if you catch my drift. I'd rather not go into details, but some of you guys know what I'm talking about. Alright? So there's a bunch of different ways that I could think of in regards to what was going on with this situation. This person could have potentially been a federal agent, maybe, and he was testing my security measures, or he was trying to put me in a what would you do type situation. Okay? It could have potentially been that. Or this could have been a situation where this dude is actually truly mentally ill. Now, from the way that he looks pretty well groomed. Granted that he has the beard on him. His clothes look clean. They didn't look dirty. His beard looked clean and it was trimmed up. So he could have easily, potentially have been a police officer or somebody in law enforcement, whether FBI, Department of Justice, Department of Defense or something. Who knows? But for the people that are always trying to question why I have cameras and why I'm always recording, it's because of shit like this. I have a security concern, and not only that, there are people that are sent my way to try to get me caught up in something, to get me thrown in jail or put into a mental facility. So that's what I try to prevent. I'm being proactive in doing it, which is why I pulled out my camera and started to record when this individual approached. I don't know this person. I've never been in this area of Missouri. Prior to this, I had been through Missouri before and stopped in some other places, but I'm not intimately familiar with this area. I randomly pulled over because I wanted to take a break and have a little snack, maybe take like a 30-minute nap and go on my way. Okay? So there's a lot of things that could be considered here. Maybe God sent him. Maybe he's an angel or something, and that he had his dogs there to make sure everything was clear, and I don't know what to think. Maybe he was checking for illegal immigrants in my vehicle. They're trying to see. It's just weird. Like, why would a law enforcement officer operate in that way, right? Wouldn't they approach and identify themselves, in an official capacity? This is who we are, immigration, enforcement. We're just trying to make sure that, you're not harboring any illegals or whatever, transporting drugs or whatever. But clearly that wasn't the case. This dude walked upside of my vehicle, not my vehicle, but the company's vehicle that I was transporting to Utah. He opens the door.
Oh, it's going back? Huh? Am I riding in the back?
He opens the door and says, "Am I riding in the back?" And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is this shit? And then I'm laughing. It's kind of like a nervous laugh, like what the hell, but I'm still kind of being friendly in a way. You get what I'm saying? Because like something in my spirit told me don't worry about this one. But then when I looked back, it was like, what if this dude was trying to test my security and make sure, like, basically trying to tell me, dude, if you're going to park on the side of the road like that, make sure your doors are locked. So I'm not necessarily trying to look at it in a negative way. I'm just bringing about the possibilities of what this could have been about. So that's why I'm sharing this video, to get other people's opinions as to what this situation was. Okay? Like I said before, I can liken this experience of going through what I'm going through as being on a fucking TV show where everyone else has a script except me. What if my attitude was different and I had done something to hurt this guy? What if he had hurt me? What if this was a real situation and he would have hurt me? That's how I know that my reality is being manipulated. I'm in a bubble of sorts. Having these bad actors come around me to do these little skits, and then they do their little recording and they put it on their closed circuit television so that the elites can watch it and laugh at us. I've always said it before, people know who we are everywhere we go. I've been to Airbnbs in other states. How do people know to call me Ochu? You know, on the Airbnb, I don't use the name Ochu. It's just my first name. Where did they get Ochu from? I've done a video about that in the past. It was titled My Florida Experiences. You can go check that out. You clearly see the host of these Airbnbs, not one, but several, mention the name Ochu. The first thing they said was, "Oh, hey, Ochu." Huh? But I'm the crazy one, right? I'm paranoid. My reality is manipulated, and it's a lot of fake scripted stuff that goes on. So again, forgive me if my discernment is off at times, but that's what I struggle with sometimes, is just the authenticity of events that occur. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share that. I'll play it again. Let me go back and play it one more time. So with the body cam that I have, there's two phases of activation. You cut it on initially, it does this pre-recording where it's not actively recording yet until you officially, let me not even talk about that. I'm trying to give instructions on how to control my devices. That's not a good idea. Just, never mind, just watch.
Oh, what's going on? Huh?
Am I riding it back?
How's it going?
And if you heard the clicking noises after he shuts the door, clearly you can see he opened the door, even though I don't have the camera, because I was so shocked at what happened. It was like I was kind of stunned, so I didn't turn the camera his way when I should have. I think I still had my food in my hand or something. But you can see the side view mirror, the passenger side view mirror. You can see where he opens the door and he shuts it, and then he proceeds to the rear door that goes into like the main hull of the RV, and he attempts to open that, but that was actually locked. So only God knows what could have happened if he had access to get into the back hull. He could have pulled the automatic weapon out on me. You get what I'm saying? He could have pulled something out on me at that point. He did end up walking back to my vehicle again. Did I even record that? Dang, I don't want to show. 1 second, let me see.
And my dad's trying to catch up.
So yeah, he walked off after that pretty much, but you know, he says what he says. He's trying to get to his kids or something like that. He needs to get there as fast as he can. And I'm just like, huh. Yeah, I can't help you with that one, man. This is this is company. You know, somebody's buying this thing. I'm transporting it to another state. I can't have you in it. So, yeah, this is the type of shit that I have to deal with. This is why I'm constantly having to record. I don't think people understand. I think not everyone's targeting is the same. Some people are feel like other people are wusses for recording everything. But depending on what level your targeting is at, it's important to record. And I've said this before in other videos. cameras do not prevent crime, but they can certainly serve as a deterrent. I have seen with my own eyes people right before me, as soon as you cut the camera on, whatever it was they were about to do, they shifted into a whole nother personality, or they tried to act nice. There's many times where I've encountered people and they're like, trying to be rude, or being rude rather, or doing something shady, but then as soon as I cut the camera on, they go into acting mode. It is the most demonic thing you could ever see and imagine when you witness this shit. The most demonic thing when you see that switch in them. But this is why I have to record, and this is why I have to, take measures to try to protect myself. And see, situations like this, had I pulled something out and defended myself, law enforcement could easily flip that around and use it as a means to arrest me, and we'll just let the judge figure this out. And the next thing you know, I'm being kidnapped for defending myself, and then having to sit in a jail with a high-ass bond while I'm continuing to be further abused, having people brought into the cell to jump me, having needles stuck off in me when I go to sleep, or they put stuff in my food to induce sleep so that I don't feel when they're pricking me with the needles. This is the type of shit that they like to do to us when they get us locked up in these jails. There's a reason why, even if you did not commit the crime. It's like they say, you can beat the charge, but you can't beat the ride. So that's ultimately what they try to do. The ride and going through the court process is the real punishment. Having to go to court to attend the court cases and being gang stalked on your way to the court, and then when you get to the courthouse, they're gang stalking you in there. Right in front of the judge, they'll gang stalk you. And nothing to get done about it. And that's the type of shit that I'm done with. I'm done with the malicious prosecution cases. These people trying to create situations to detain you and then put you in jail, and then, we'll just let the judge figure it out. And then during that whole time, you're being further abused while in custody. And, it may get to a point to where you might not even come out that jail. They might have somebody else come out the jail that looks like you but is not you, if you catch my drift. So there's just a lot of stuff to think about with all this stuff that goes on, and it's I can't say we're living in crucial times. I can say for myself, so many people have said that in the past, it's almost over, but nothing is almost over. This shit is it's just getting worse and worse and worse. All that's around is just these zombies, these creatures, these non-humans, these counterfeit humans. And that's just what it is. So I feel guilty with the job that I'm supposed to be starting orientation for, because it's a job where I'm going to be making decent money. And I question, am I supposed to be making decent money? Do I deserve to make decent money? Am I not going to be a child of God if I work for this company, and if they're part of the harassment stuff, and I'm working for them, is that going to be held against me? It's just so much that I think about. I don't want to be a part of no clique, no gang. You got these Masonic groups that have all these different color affiliations and stuff like that, like the Red Lodge and Blue Lodge, and hell, is there a Green Lodge and a Yellow Lodge and all this other stuff? I'm not a part of any of that stuff, but I have seen an element of these people who appear to be helping, and you have these different color codes of people. I've seen it to where the red people appear to be helping, and then I might do something that they deem unfavorable or pisses them off, then they'll stand down, and then the blue people will help. It's what the fuck is going on in this world, man? It's everyone is a part of a fucking gang except me. And I guess they're wanting me to choose, and that goes back to a video that I made about we need you to pick a program. And I had this chick, the girlfriend of this one dude, when I was in High Springs, Florida, and she was telling me kind of in a third person type of way, Anthony doesn't want to be down with nothing. Anthony doesn't smoke weed, he doesn't do any drugs, he doesn't do this, he just won't be a part of anything. And that was very telling, what she was saying, as to what my so-called problem is in this world. is that I'm not a part of any of it. I'm just here. And I'm trying to make sense of all the things that I go through as best as I can while trying to keep my sanity. I don't want to be a part of no gangs or no groups or no cliques. Even if it is for certain protections, I don't care about that shit. I'm trying to survive. That's it. You know, I still have it in my heart to be a good person. No matter what these people try to do. They want me to believe that I no longer have a connection to God because I'm not so nice to them. These people know my heart. They know the type of love that I have in my heart and my spirit and my soul. And my ability to help others. Even in my poverty, the help that I've done for people. I don't get on YouTube and brag about it. I don't go help someone and take and record the help and then post it on video. Look, I'm a good person. Look what I did for this person. I don't do that. Whatever I do in regards to stuff like that is between myself and God. And I always tell the people that I help, thank God. Don't even thank me. The Most High sent me. You know? But because I expose these people and I record them, they want me to believe that I don't have a connection to God because I rebuke them. Or because I have a certain level of hate for a lot of these people. And I can't be held accountable for that because it says in the Bible that the Most High hates. The Most High hates workers of iniquity. He don't love you. The Bible says that. I didn't make that up. I'm also being scrutinized because I've been vocal about illegal immigration as well. I got an extra layer of harassment from Hispanic people, many of which are illegals and defenders of these illegals that are here. And I'm not against the illegals that are here to work and make a living and not cause problems and not engage in organized stalking and harassment. I'm not against them. I'm against the ones that are here that are involved in the harassment. You know, that's the issue that I have. I'm an American citizen. I'm not an immigrant. You know, and you have these people that have been set out and are trying to find ways to put hits out on me. I've gotten roundabout word that cartel's trying to get me, and then people telling me, not directly telling me, but making these suggestive gestures or giving me these how can I put it, just these hints and clues. Hey, don't park to yourself in a remote location for too long. Is that something to really be concerned about, or is it a serious threat? Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is what I have going on right now. It's so crazy, all these different color codes. Then if I piss off the blue people, then the gray car people show up. Literally, it's like some shit off the fucking Matrix. All like, it'll be one day it'll be all a bunch of gray cars, the next day it's all a bunch of red cars and blue cars. It's like, what the fuck is going on in this world, man? I'm not a part of any of that shit. And it's like a tug of war type of thing. You know, they want to try to use the term chosen one. That chosen one shit is just cult stuff. I'm not a chosen one. A chosen one don't even have to say that they're chosen. They know who they are. I don't have to go around wearing shirts saying I'm chosen or no stupid dumbass shit like that. It shows in your action. It shows in your rebellion against evil. It shows with you exposing the evil and not being a part of the shit. So I don't know what else to do. I'm at my wit's end with a lot of this stuff. Again, I'm just here trying to survive it. I truly don't believe that there's much more to even learn in this world. Like, once you awaken to the true nature of this place, you see the enslavement. Even with me sitting here in this parking lot and looking at traffic, it's just so zombified and just so, it's like everyone is just one mind, one mind, one mind, one mind. They want me to believe that I have lost my connection to God and that I'm no longer welcome in the kingdom of heaven. These fucking cult, chosen one type people. If you do anything that goes against what they say, oh, you're no longer one of us. I was never one of any of you people. I have always been an individual. And that's what they don't want in this world. The Matrix don't want that shit. You can tell who the true chosen ones are. They're not the ones that have stable homes to live in, who have all this support from family, and you still got friends. It looks like the Matrix is taking care of you just fine. Just fine. What does it say in the Bible? The children of God have, they don't have a place to lay their head. They're constantly on the move. I'm living it. I'm not saying it to be egotistical or be full of myself. I am literally living the life of these characters in the Bible. And then when I rebel and stand up for myself and rebuke these people, they want to try to say that I'm a devil, or you're not a godly person, or you're no angel, and this, that, and the other. Like, no, I don't put up with their bullshit. So they want to try to label me something that they feel comfortable with that'll make them feel better. I know who I am. Let me see. I don't want this. I'm trying to make sure that this is still recording. So, I'm concerned about this so-called threat, but at the same time I'm not, because I'm like, if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. At least that they can't do anything that the Most High don't allow. So their tactics are all the same. Nothing's different. They might have some different variations and shit like that, but that's where you got to observe, use your discernment, use your wits, use your intelligence to maneuver and duck and dodge and get around these motherfuckers. But one thing I will not have is people telling lies and then trying to get me arrested so they can kill me in jail and have somebody come out that looks like me that's not me. I've had people hover, as of lately, hovering behind me when I went to this place to go get drug tested and get a physical for this job. This fat Hispanic lady wearing all black trying to hover behind me while I was trying to get off of my phone to receive a text message from the receptionist that had sent me for the drug test stuff that I had to click an agreement to. She's looking behind me at trying to see my passcode in my phone. Then this other job that I'm currently working, the part-time job, an individual there hovering behind me, trying to see what my passcode is in my phone. What are they up to? What are these people up to? Then, a third occasion, I went to this place to go get something to eat. This lady walks out of the restaurant, and she's standing outside the window right next to the table that I'm sitting at, and I'm about to put my passcode in, and something told me to look behind me. I looked, and she's all up in the window, just like trying to cut her eyes and look off at my phone. So I got up and moved. So there's an agenda with that, so that when they try to set you up to get arrested, they can give the officers information on how to get in your phone. Which doesn't make sense to me because they have hackers. They got people that can get in your shit. So, but it's just the fact that I observe that. It's like, and that's the whole point of Central Intelligence. It's intelligence gathering. They don't just get intel from one source. They have to have multiple sources of intel to see if it all matches up, to determine if it's credible information. That's what intel gathering is about. I've never worked for the intelligence agency. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know and figure that shit out. Especially if you've been going through this shit for years. You're a soldier. You know these things. That information just comes to you. To be able to detect these people in a setting or in a crowd. To be able to detect who these people are. It's a unique ability. Sometimes I know and I still don't care. I let them do whatever just so they can get their thrill and move the fuck on, You're not tricking me. I know what the fuck you're doing. I just don't care. If the Most High is going to let it hurt me, then it'll hurt me. If he's going to heal me from it, I'll get healed. I try not to worry about this shit no more. But that's where I'm at. I would appreciate advice on the video that I shared in regards to this stranger. I don't know who he was or whatever. He could have been a fed trying to teach me something. But it's weird because normally, officers, and they're supposed to identify themselves, right? How could you not know something like that? How did they know that I was not going to respond in a crazy way? How did they know? Maybe because they profiled me for years. They know more about myself than I do about myself. So they knew in that moment this was a good time to do that, because the probability based off of our calculations, according to our calculations, he's not really susceptible to being aggressive or hostile in the moment. He's currently in chill mode. He's eating his food. This would be the perfect time to approach, and the probability of any hostility is just very low. Yeah, let's go with that. We were right. He didn't react. We were right. You know, it's like these people, man, the technology and the measures that they use to calculate your moves is just crazy. That's why it's really important to be spontaneous. That is a key. And I need to take my own advice. I mean, I've been spontaneous for the most part, but there's some other areas that I still need to work on. And whatever it is that I fall short on, you know, the Most High comes in and he kind of provides a level of protection, or he'll shield me from something. But I need to learn from that experience so I don't make the same mistakes. So it's kind of like that type of thing. This truly is it's essentially like being in a fucking video game. You know, with all these fucking characters and NPCs and shit. And I knew they had to have had that level of knowledge of knowing that I was chill in the moment and that I would not respond in the way that, you know, you would think I would respond. So, if that even makes sense. Anyways, let me play this one more time.
Oh, it's going
back?
Huh?
Am I riding it back?
How's it going? What's up?
My kids was up by themselves and my dad's trying to catch up. I didn't get there. That's possible. Is that possible?
I can't do that, man. This is
Yes, sir. I appreciate everything you did for me, sir.
no problem.
I appreciate everything you did for me, sir. See, these people have ways of conveying messages. Michael Barden is another targeted individual who's talked about this. Like, they'll thank him for certain things, and they do the same thing with me. They'll thank me for certain things. I'm like, well, what am I doing? What have I done exactly? And you heard what he just said.
This is
Yes, sir. I appreciate everything you did for me, sir.
no problem.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate everything you did for me, sir. What did I do for him exactly? You know, this is a total what would you do type of vibe situation here. It could have been a training exercise. In the past, law enforcement has used me for training exercises. Federal agents have used me for training exercises. I was in a dollar store, a Dollar Tree, actually meant to go to a Family Dollar, but somehow my GPS took me to a Dollar Tree. Had it wasn't nothing but federal agents in that fucking store in plain clothes. And they had this thing where they were like shielding me, or trying to shield me in the event that someone comes in to try to get close to me. Like, I readily identified it was a training exercise, but no one has directly come to me and told me any of this. I know without knowing type of thing. So, I don't know. I've been accused of being a federal agent or a cop, or I'm not a cop. I'm not a federal agent. I've worked in security, and I've shared that on YouTube in my older videos. I shared instances of me working on a security post. I've worked with law enforcement in the past in regards to them showing up to a call. Maybe I was working at an apartment complex and they didn't have enough officers, and I helped the officer put up some caution tape because there was a crime that somebody got hurt, assaulted or something. They got robbed, actually. And I helped them put up a crime scene tape. That was it. You know, I'm not a police officer. I've never been a cop. I've never identified myself as a cop to no one. I have gear in my vehicle because I, off and on for years, have worked in security. I'm not going to throw out my damn gear, which includes handcuffs, which I got arrested for in the state of Florida because they say you can have handcuffs, but you can't have a handcuff key. So, anyways, one more thing to mention and I'll end this video. Another way to look at it is, I don't know what it is with secret societies and dogs, but they'll use their dogs. Is it a spiritual thing? But they've also used this as a threat to say, oh, if you don't stop that behavior, we're going to get our dogs on you. Not literally sick their actual animal dog on you, but send some criminals, some thugs or somebody to come and deal with you. So that's also a thing these people in these secret societies will do. You see somebody walking a dog, it's not always necessarily to your benefit on some spiritual shit. They might be walking a dog in the area to scare off other people that might be trying to harm you. I've seen that. Or you could have other people walking dogs as a warning to you. How did I get this information? It just, I guess, downloaded into my mind, or just based off of me observing my surroundings and just paying close attention to what's going on. And it kind of gives answers to some of the things that you deal with and some of the attacks you get. You know, somebody walking their dog in your vicinity letting you know, hey, you better be careful, we're going to send our dogs after you. And the dogs could be criminals they've let out of jail. It could be somebody else in the community. It could even be the police. So that's something to think about. Another thing, when I do my jumping jack exercises, I am not calling for assistance to any Masonic group. I also discovered not too long ago that the jumping jack gesture is also a Masonic gesture of a fellow brother needing help. I'm not a Mason. I've never been a part of any of those secret societies. I'm not a frat brother. I'm not a part of any of that shit. But apparently I have done some gestures unbeknownst to me before that were Masonic in nature, and it had nothing to do with me being Masonic. I'm simply fucking exercising. You know how I know? I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. I was somewhere in Illinois. I was, again, working the transport job. I was en route to, I think, Oklahoma that time. And I stopped somewhere in Illinois. It wasn't Chicago. It was an industrial area. It had a lot of 18-wheelers and shit like that. I was tired that night. I just pulled over and I parked at a church there. That next morning, I got up, brushed my teeth and stuff like that. I had some fruit in the vehicle. I made a fruit salad. I put some vinegar in it, was washing it out. But before I ate it, I decided I wanted to do some jumping jacks right outside in the field of the church. So I do that. I'm doing the jumping jacks. And there were some people way off in the distance that were watching or had seen me. And then, lo and behold, I ended up summoning a sheriff deputy. He comes out and he's asking me if everything's all right. And just based off of the interaction, he definitely wasn't there to try to arrest me or nothing. He didn't even ask me for identification. No. Never mind. He did ask me for ID, but I declined because I told him I wasn't committing a crime. And, so on and so forth. So I could tell that he was summoned because of the gesture that I was doing. I had seen a video a while back on YouTube about this guy talking about different Masonic gestures and stuff like that. And there was one guy on the side of the road. This was an old video. And this dude was like doing this little jumping jack gesture. So to the unwitting person, to the person that don't have that knowledge, they would think this guy's just fucking nuts. But to the secret societies and the Masons, they know about that shit. They know what that means. That's a brother in distress, and you better go help. So just recently when I did the jumping jacks, I noticed that I started having certain people wanting to shake my hands. And what reason would they need to have to shake my hands? It's to confirm if you're part of the brotherhood. They want to see if you take that damn thumb and reach over to that special knuckle and press down on that shit. You know, you learn about these things. Like, I didn't know nothing about this before organized stalking and harassment or gang stalking. It brought me into a whole new world of the people involved in this, being the Masons or Shriners and all this, you know. And you learn about the gestures. When I was staying at that Airbnb that I got set up in Kissimmee, Florida, that woman gave me a Masonic handshake. She took my hand with both her hands because it was late at night. Her eyes were all squinty. She needed to make sure that she pressed against that knuckle to let me know that she's in the club. And I'm like, what? I had already paid for my stay. It was too late. I tried my best to stay the fuck away from shit like that. But a lot of times you can't. There's nothing you can do because a lot of these people own most of the businesses in the world. And like I said, in this world, you have to make money. You know, I shouldn't feel bad about making the money. You know, the Bible tells you there's going to be enmity between thy seed, between the serpent of the children of God and between the seed of the children of God, rather, and the seed of the serpent. The wicked, the world is given into the hands of the wicked. That's who runs it. So the Most High understands. So I guess I'm clear on that. I'm just trying to be cautious. I don't want to be subject to being a part of anything having to do with this world that is in allegiance with the devil. I've made no oaths. I've signed no deals. I have not been invited to any meetings of any sorts. Nothing like that. And you got people online that are accusing me of me being something that I'm even not. And I'm one of the ones that's truly living through the persecutions and the sufferings. A lot of these people making videos, talking what they talking about, they have homes. They're making videos right in their homes. But then we'll say, oh, they're chosen. I don't think so. I think the people that have it good in this world are the ones that do the bidding of Satan. Those are the people that don't get bothered by Satan because they're doing exactly what Satan wants. So Satan leaves those people alone. It's people like me that got to be watched and monitored and babysat and all that type of shit. Oh gosh, how long is this video? Sorry, I know I talk a lot. I don't really have anybody I could talk to that really understands this shit. So I'll just cut the video from here. Again, comments on this video I shared with this dude that encountered the RV that I was transporting. Also, advice on the job thing. Should I work the job? Should I, I don't know. But if there's anyone out there who can show support, I'm not asking for money or anything like that, but, it's been very lonely. It's been a lonely journey, and I'm just still trying to make it, I don't mean anyone any harm. Even these serpents that stab me in my back, even the ones that I've shown love, that still try to stab me in my back and, do harm to me in secret, thinking I don't know. They get it back. They believe in karma. They'll get their karma. Either way, the Most High definitely give it to them too. Vengeance is His, for He shall repay, as they say. So I'm just in hope mode. I'm just hoping. Thanks for listening and watching.